DJ, you want to open the meeting?
Open the meeting at 6 o'clock. Out. Yeah. Um,
Keyboard is bigger than my computer. I don't like the keyboards on. I don't like the keyboards on laptop. Can't type every other word is a mistake. It's gonna be here.
Yeah, and it's gonna be on the website too.
I can't even approve the
No, I
minutes.
guess we can't do anything till she gets here.
Yeah.
How late did she say she was gonna be?
Yeah,
She said a couple minutes.
Oh, a couple of minutes, okay. Sarah will be here very shortly.
Can we move on? You can't really do anything.
Can't do anything without a quorum.
who wrote that up?
Dave Hobson, and then we sat with Ray and went over them all.
Yeah, because I was over there with Ray. This doesn't leave wiggle room. Because I was
Ray
talking
agreed
with
to-
Ray and, Rainey about it. And, Ray had formulated what he would like to do. And I mean, there's no wiggle room here. If there's an emergency, he has to drop everything.
Nope, it's been explained to him that that is not the case at all.
Oh, that is what I heard this afternoon. Oh,
Boy.
okay.
You're at it again.
Sounds good. All right. So we're already open, right?
Yeah,
Okay, so I have, oh, look at how tiny this is for Mary. So we have a new addition to our agenda, in an effort to make sure that we are strictly following, open meeting laws. We have updated it. It says noted audience participation and public comment is welcome only when acknowledged by the chair and limited to 2 minutes. The participation and public comment is limited only to Blandford residents who may comment on agenda items only. The town of Blandford are committed to the full participation of people with disabilities, and the town is handicap accessible. Persons who require special accommodations, including an auxiliary aid or service for effective communication or modification of policies and procedures, can contact the administrator. And there's the note with 15 days in advance of the meeting. So that means we still have our audience comment participation on the agenda, but we will not be taking questions and comments outside of that area. So if you have a question or comment on one of the agenda items, you can go ahead and request to be on an agenda. There's Christina has updated a form that's online that you can fill out to be on the agenda. And then we can address it at the next meeting. Questions or comments on that? I guess I can't take, but yes, I'll take questions or comments on that. Mary?
You're disenfranchising our residents with this particular policy. There is a line in the open meeting law that permits subjects to come before the board that have not been reasonably expected within 20 or 48 hours prior to the meeting. And I would like to suggest, as a personal suggestion, not as a press person, instead of calling it public participation or what did we used to have on the, public comment? Instead of calling it public comment, maybe just call it other business. Because where it is in the agenda, you haven't discussed anything yet.
Mhm.
So if you put the unanticipated concerns, complaints, issues, whatever they might be,
Mhm.
under other business to come before the board.
I don't think we would move it to
Maybe.
other business, but we could certainly move it around on the agenda if we wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, and that line should appear on every agenda also.
Yeah, it will. Yes, George,
I don't understand, is this a policy that the state has? It's a
this is the open
policy.
meeting law, yeah,
Pardon?
open meeting law about
It's a
regulations.
new policy of the state,
It's not a new policy of the state, no, we just want to make sure that we are following open meeting law.
okay.
So we're just trying to tighten our reins up here and make sure that we are, following the procedures.
Does the clerk or you have copies of this so we can have?
It's right on your agenda. It's on the back in teeny tiny writing.
Okay.
There you go. All right, so we are going to go, meeting minutes. Our first item is examining meeting minutes from March 10th. Here. So are these the executive meeting minutes or,
No, these are regular meeting minutes.
but the beginning talks about executive?
Is that the one where you went right into executive session?
Yeah,
But there's no discussion.
yeah, there is. Should these be separate, Joanne?
Separate?
Yeah, just the first chunk is the executive, right?
That was just you saying you're going into executive session. I didn't talk about,
And then it has our motion,
I have to look at it.
sorry,
Sorry.
it has our motion and discussion. Should that be still an exec until we release it? I mean, it's,
no, you didn't say anything.
Okay.
What happened was you closed out
And
and
then
then
came
you
back.
reopened. So
Okay.
I don't know how else to tell everybody that you left at the beginning instead of the end. That would have been at the end. You're just talking about this, which isn't saying anything, and they already know
Mhm.
that because you talked about it last week.
okay.
But if you want me to take that out, I can take that.
I'm
out.
just wondering if we have to, just because this was done in executive session. Do you know what I mean?
But there's nothing here that can't be public.
Oh, I know,
Yeah.
yeah, at this point, I just, yeah, I mean,
You know, I think it's okay the way it is.
okay. Okay,
That would normally be at the end.
because that was, I mean, that's, I will be public, but this was done in executive, so I'm just thinking that maybe that shouldn't be on there.
Follow later.
Yeah, just,
Okay. Just do me a favor and cross out what you want.
perfect,
off,
yeah, I would
and
just
then
take that
I
out,
will
and then
Make
the
sure that's on executive session.
Yeah.
And, so if you can
And then
approve
this
it
is
with changes.
perfect,
All right, cool.
thanks. Thank you.
You know, the meetings be accepted as amended.
Second? Any discussion? All in favor?
I,
Aye. All right, so we'll go to the audience participation, public comment. Okay. Then we have department reports. So you've got highway. Do we have anything from highway?
Ray said he wasn't able to attend.
Okay. Okay, and,
Randy's trying to get in. I don't know if he's.
is it David Ray?
He says
Rainey?
he can't get in. I don't understand.
Okay. So we look forward to seeing, the maintenance, list from Ray tomorrow as part of the goals. That is due. Okay, Christina, go ahead.
So one of the things I wanted to talk about today was I am proposing that the board replace one select board meeting a month with a departmental roundtable so that the board can be more informed on what's going on in each department. If a department has an issue, you know, you guys have clear, open communication. I think that it will allow the board to just have a better understanding of what's going on in each department. And that way we can also take some, at each of those meetings, we would go over the expenditure report, so everybody's clear on their finances.
Okay.
And we can just have a better idea of ongoing projects, initiatives, current financial status, things like that.
I think it's a great idea. And so we would be requiring a representative from each,
A
department.
board. A member of the board. We have
It would be-
people that work for different boards that seem to think they're the representatives.
So you're looking for, like,
I think, you know, either chair or board member should be present.
so I guess we need a list of which departments too, because some are,
So I'm gonna let you guys decide which exact departments,
Okay.
but the departments that I had put down here was town administrator, select board, town clerk, fire, police, highway, water, library, assessors. And all other boards and committees are invited to participate as they see fit. And when available and necessary, accounting, treasurer, collector.
okay,
But
yeah, that makes sense. So we're not gonna worry about zoning, planning,
unless
recreation.
they're more than
conservation.
welcome to
No.
attend if necessary, if
Okay.
they see fit. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I think those make sense. And then all of those like assessors, assessors and water are elected. Not that, I'm just sort of talking my through it. And the rest
So
of them.
library.
And clerk.
In library.
Oh, and library, I didn't write that one down. Okay, yeah, I think that's a great idea. Obviously come summer, we.
We only do the every other,
every
so
other.
we could discuss a way to handle it in the summer, but I
Okay.
just wanted to propose it because I think it would be, I mean, it would still be open meeting, right? So
Mhm.
residents would be able to
Now,
gain a better understanding as well.
doing this, I'm trying to think, like, if they have an agenda to come before the board, they can come before the board anytime, not just.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
So maybe when would be a good time to start? Let's see, it's at the end of April right now. Do we want to look at our last meeting in May to give them enough time
Sure,
to do that?
Yeah.
Okay, and so then you'll reach out
Yeah.
and let them know,
I will.
okay? And maybe ask them if they want anything specific on the agenda under their department to make
Mhm.
sure it's in the week before.
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect. All right, okay. What else you got for us?
Oh, I did call Bill Clark and I'm still waiting for him to email me his insurance. So we're waiting on that.
Okay, did you
That's
confirm that
the
he
thing.
has insurance?
He said, no problem when I asked him to email it to me, but I haven't gotten it.
Okay.
So,
So if we don't get that from him, then we cannot proceed with that.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, that was it for me.
That's
So
it for
sorry.
you? That's okay. Jennifer, do you want to come on down? Do you have anything for Board of Health?
Question.
Sure.
So on that list and doing that news cycle, does the
Mhm.
Board of Health still come once a month? Then are we still on that?
Yes, you.
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
Want to make sure. Okay, so our update on the swap shop. It's should officially be open at the end of this month. We're waiting on a sign.
Okay.
And they're just putting up shelves. So, and then once we get it open, we're gonna have a little mini opening on May 3rd.
Okay,
And it's a Saturday. We haven't figured out what time, but the time we'll know at our next meeting. We'll pinpoint it up
like when
time.
the transfer station's open anyways? or-
No, well, yeah, it's during
Okay.
that time, but we, like the select board there, will have, we thought that you guys
Okay.
would come that morning.
Cookies and coffee.
EJ, it's a transfer station. Who wants cookies and coffee at a transfer station?
Let me
You
just
know
make
who
sure.
you're dealing with here.
All right, the 3rd, so I put that in my calendar.
Yeah, it's probably like early morning.
Yeah.
Just to get it
Now,
done.
are you gonna have a set of rules, regulations?
Yep, that was
on-
next. We have reviewed, we've already done our rules and regulations. We reviewed it at our last meeting. Just have to type up a couple of, things we needed to add to it.
Okay.
And then we will have that up on the website. We'll get it in the paper. We'll have, the papers at the transfer station
Great.
for people to take home.
Okay,
So we'll have material
Okay,
excellent.
for that. And then grants, I think last time I was here, I stated that we were going to get a grant we were going to apply for a grant for the compactor. But I attended one of their seminars and they said that we're allowed to apply for 2 grants this year. I know, whoopee. So we decided that we'd like to put in a very small paint shop where people can bring in their
Oh.
paints.
That's
That
excellent.
will be a little different because people will have to pay for the paint because we'll have to pay to dispose of it.
Okay,
But it can't go in with the same as, the other trash
Okay.
and recyclable stuff. So it stands on its own little
great. Okay,
thingy.
something like the oil,
Yes.
yeah.
Similar to that, yes.
okay.
So it'll be just a small little
okay.
thing. So we'd like to apply for that. Now on the PJ, the burial agent, is that good? Are you good through June?
Yeah.
Okay. And is Peter coming to,
Yeah, I talked to him today, but he had a burn permit, so he's out there setting the forest on fire.
okay, all right, we just wanted to know, because I know he didn't come to our meeting,
Yeah.
so I just want to clarify that.
I've been hounding him.
Okay, I can send them off an email as well. Tobacco, we're updating the bylaws to match the state's new laws and regulations on tobacco, and then we've got to pass out to the places in town that sell tobacco products. The new parent program that comes from the Western Hamden County, the Board of Health has decided to put together new parent baskets.
Oh, that's nice.
And then take the,
I'm sorry, what did you say?
we're putting together new parent baskets.
Parent baskets?
Yeah, they're like little baby baskets, so it has information for the parents,
Okay,
has like a little rattle type thing for the baby and just like a little onesie, just cute little things that we're gonna do. And then we'll take the postcard from the Western Hamden County and put that in there. So should they want further information or help or assistance on anything, they'll have it.
great. So that's, you're just gonna use the list of births.
As they come in, yes, we have 3 so far.
Great.
So I know I didn't realize that we're just popping babies. here.
Yeah.
So on that, let's see. And we did opt out of the opioid program with the Western Hampton County Public Health District. We're going to stick with just staying, keeping it in town.
Okay.
I gave them the official no this past week. Then going on to the Maya stuff, you want to talk about that
Sure,
for a
yeah.
minute?
Mhm.
Okay, so I did meet with Ray a couple of weeks back and he gave me a list of things that he wanted training on. But we can't meet for another 2 weeks he's really busy. I don't know. We're gonna meet in a couple of weeks.
Okay.
So I've got a bunch of stuff that I've completed. I did not complete stuff 100% like I had thought, but I apologize for that. I'm, with everything
You've been
that's
busy,
happened
yeah,
since
yeah.
August, so.
Understood.
But it certainly is better than before.
Yeah.
On that, so.
Great, thank you for
And
that.
that's it. That's really all I have. Oh, no, we had two. Oh, we had two complaints.
Okay.
So if they come up, one's on 16 Brookman Drive. We had taken care of that first issue with the septic from the neighbor and all that, which was a no-go. I don't want to really get into the whole thing.
Okay.
Okay, but we now are leaving messages inappropriately. And I passed it on to Jen. I just gave her an FYI
Okay.
on that,
Okay.
so. On that complaint. And then we had a complaint come from a resident that they have, field rats at their house.
Okay.
And basically, I said that's a Jen thing, so I
Yeah.
passed that on, that's not a Board of Health,
So Jen could help them with trapping, is that?
So I guess,
Okay.
because that's the only, there's nothing that we can,
Okay.
that's
Yeah.
that's out of our hands, so I passed that on to her too. So that was good. Yes,
Okay.
you're not allowed to have
Field
questions.
what?
Oh. Field rats.
Field rats?
Yeah, is that a thing? I thought it was just field mice.
Mm,
No, I guess these are a little bigger
There you
than,
go.
Blanford has them a little
Good
bigger.
times. Thank you, Jennifer, I appreciate it. Yeah, keep us posted on the time for the 3rd so we can put it into our calendars.
I will, I'll probably send it off to Christine.
Okay. Perfect.
Thanks.
All right, action items. We have a payroll warrant
Table.
is tabled. So motion to table payroll warrant, number 21.
Second,
Any discussion? All in favor?
aye.
So if you need me to come sign this, because you will need a second signature. I can swing by, I just don't get here till like 5, just send me a text. So we have the highway superintendent goals to look at. Oh, here we go. So the first section we have on road work. And these goals are enhancing road maintenance efficiency. So this is the list of maintenance efforts that you should be getting soon.
But this doesn't come from the highway superintendent.
This, I believe, is what Ray worked on with Dave. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
That, what you're holding is required by the union contract that was signed.
Yes. Thank you.
A-
Which-
Clean swaths, road drainage, and that's in the contract, the
The
union contract.
goals,
The goals.
I
And
understand
the
that,
cleaning, so Ray did provide a base for
Yes,
that
he did.
document,
and I
and-
saw that, and it's nothing like this.
right?
This
because
is
what he-
micromanaging,
Okay.
okay? And I don't think that we need to do that. I mean, we have Rainey, and then when Rainey's done, we have, Tommy Ackley that could step up as a liaison to work with the highway department. He worked with the highway department before, he knows the people, he knows the roads. And, I don't wanna get into micromanaging Ray. He's got enough on his plate right now. And, this is going into micromanaging. It's
So
not giving
I
wiggle
appreciate what
room.
you're saying, but the time for that conversation was prior to signing the union contract. The union contract lays out that they have to establish these goals
And
in this
Ray
way.
did have that.
No, those weren't goals. That was a list.
No, he just, yeah,
A goal has to have specific, measurable, what they're going to reach by a certain date. That's a goal.
And so if he doesn't reach it by a certain date, this is gonna go against him
No,
because he
no.
had an emergency on another end.
No,
No,
You can't micromanage.
that's not what's gonna happen, TJ.
Well, that's what it reads.
No, it doesn't.
That's what
It says
it is.
completion of these goals depend on the
You're-
weather situation, any
Each
new
road,
issues.
each road. You have set, what
Yeah, but
you have to
look
do,
up here, TJ.
what, completion of these goals.
Yeah, okay, let me read. Completion of these goals depends on the weather situation. Any new issues that arise will be handled in a timely manner, depending on the gravity of the situation and the staffing. So when we reconvene to look at these
So
goals,
who's gonna make the judgment call, whether it was necessary or not?
well, we're gonna convene with Ray.
Yeah.
When we would do this quarterly.
I don't think it's fair to Ray. I don't think it's fair to any
When
highway
you're-
superintendent.
When you're.
They're hired to do a job.
Correct.
so if they
And
don't
we're-
do these, I'm just gonna put this out there just so you guys know. There is no merit raise for the laborers.
Right,
So,
that should never have been in the contract anyway.
Well,
But the thing, what I'm trying to say is this is, all right, the only thing lacking here, Russell Stage Road, is what day he's gonna work on Russell Stage Road. That's the only thing. It's telling him what to do. It's not him directing the highway crew to what they have to do.
so we don't have a choice. They have to have these goals, TJ.
They
in
have
order
to
for
have
them to
these
get-
goals. It's not like teaching a class or whatever, driving a truck. Every day is different. If you can't finish it the first day, you gotta go to the second day.
Yeah, that's
So-
understandable,
You're putting it on the timeline for it.
but it's you and me sitting up here and then whoever a third person is. And when we reconvene and he says, well, I've reached 75% of my goal because of this, we're gonna say, okay, great. Let's roll that extra 25% into the next goal that we create. It's not like
Well,
a
so
make
the
it or break it
superintendent is
situation.
working at the totally as what the select board directs him to do.
No, the
Well, that's what it
superintendent,
reads.
this is not from us. We did not create these goals, TJ.
Well, neither did Ray.
he was
Ray-
asked to.
Ray was
He-
asked to, and
he-
he asked for assistance with them, and so he was given assistance with them. And
Yes,
this
he
is what,
was. And what he had and what this is, he had 1 or 2 pages of paper. Here you've got 4 pages
but
of
he didn't
paper.
have a goal, he had a list. We need a goal. You have to have a SMART goal. A list is not a SMART goal. When you are hired to be the superintendent
That's
of a
right.
department in town, you need to set goals so
Okay.
that
All
especially
right,
that
so
the town's
he
money.
just stepped into this
Yes,
and he's coming into this brand new. He's working with Rainey
Mhm.
and he's working with Dave right now. And all of a sudden, he has no power. This is the power.
But-
And I'm sorry,
How does
he
that
has
take
to
away
make
power?
the job before you do this.
he makes the job his by setting goals so he knows what he needs to
So
accomplish.
goals that you set for. him.
I didn't say anything.
No,
This
that-
is
I
me
mean,
working with Dave.
this guy is new. He's coming in. Let's give him a
All the
chance
more
to make the
reason-
job his before we start doing
All the
this.
more reason to help him have a guideline of what he needs to do.
I'm sorry, I don't approve of it, that's all.
Okay.
I mean,
Well,
Mike,
then, if
I
there's
wanna
nothing
leave it-
approved and
let-
signed, then there's gonna be
let's
no
let
fair
let him work for the 3 months so he knows where he's at and what he's capable of.
Okay, so that means there's gonna be no raises available, because if there's no goals, I approve the goals. But so we can vote on it, but that means there's gonna be no raises, just so you know.
Oh, so you're gonna put the guilt bill in on me?
No, I'm not putting it down, I'm just telling you the reality of the situation.
I don't think it's fair to Ray. He probably had some say in this, but I don't know.
He had
This is
2.5
just too
hour
fine art.
meeting
That's just
conversation.
too complicated. He's gotta make the job his first.
Well, I mean, I know going to a new job, I would appreciate a guideline if I had never done that job anymore, and this is an extremely detailed guideline of what you need to accomplish by a
That's
certain time.
exactly my point.
That he
It's
helped create.
extreme.
It's
It's
extremely
extreme.
detailed, so.
It doesn't need to be extreme, right?
Okay, so I would motion to approve the highway department goals, March 24, 25 through August 15, 25. Is there a second for discussion?
only for discussion.
All in favor? Aye. So it'll just sit, I guess. I don't really know what our next steps are. Okay, are these goals not available to the public until we,
I don't see why not.
okay, so they can be available to the public if
Yeah.
anyone, wants them. There's a goal on road work. There's no goal on equipment maintenance, on safety, on budget. All right, so
Yeah.
sorry, Mary, I'm moving on to the next one. We can't, sorry. But if you have a question that you want
Where
to.
does
get
it
on
say
the-
it's a-
Where-
there's a merit raise in here?
We can't do that though. So,
But
Uh,
now there's,
no, don't
all
give.
right, we'll bring it up under.
Christina, yeah, it's merit based on the union contract. That's what she said.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so let's do the PVPC, there's a lot of letters here, PVPC CBDG grant balance.
He keeps
And
telling me it's the final.
I know, we've heard that for a while now.
I don't believe it.
So, what is it? We don't owe anything. This
No.
is not saying we
it's
owe
just-
anything.
It's just a balance computation of the grant.
So motion to approve the PVPC CBDG grant balance computation. There's second, any discussion? All in favor?
I,
Aye. All right, and then, town clerk local election, is Doris coming down or are you speaking? Oh, there she
right
is.
here,
You were hiding.
Yeah, well,
All right, what do you have for us?
okay, so there's two things. First one is our hours. We'd like to go from, 10 to 2 like we've been doing.
Okay,
Instead
for
of
the
10.
local election?
Yeah.
What's the date on this again? Is it June?
June 14th.
Okay. Okay, do you need a vote from us to do the 10 to 2? Is there, I'm just curious, did we say that there was no mail-in for this one? Or
That is my second thing.
Okay. All right, so, can I wait to vote on the 10 to 2 until I
Sure.
hear your second thing?
Okay, so the second thing is, we want to opt out of the mail-in voting for the local election.
I think that, I don't know if I want to opt out of the mail-in vote. I feel like, what is the
But-
reason for mailing? opting?
The biggest is my budget.
Okay.
I would have to mail out 1,007 applications.
Mhm.
7 places.
Yeah.
Or 7 spots.
So because we have 1,007 registered voters in town.
So,
Now, if you're not gonna be here, you could always do an absentee ballot.
okay.
So if you know you're going on vacation or you can't make it,
Mhm.
you can fill out one of those applications and then we would send you, of course, your ballot.
Mhm. I don't want to reduce the hours and,
Well, then we would have to go back to our 10 to 4.
yeah. I just don't think both is a good idea. I want to make sure that people have an opportunity to vote. What do you think, TJ?
I think the absentee ballot is fine. I mean, we're gonna, what do we pay? Is it a bulk mailing?
No, it's 78 cents per stamp for
So-
1,007.
So.
And then
all
I'd
right.
have to mail out the ballots.
So you're 78 cents and then 78 cents to mail the ballot.
No, the
And-
ballots are well, they were $1.01.
Yeah,
That do the envelopes, the ballot, returning the envelope. So that cost me,
Is there a way for them to pick up a mail-in ballot? No.
well, it's the same thing as a absentee ballot.
yeah, but you fill out the application and then I mail it to you,
Right.
the absentee ballot. They don't pick them up, they normally just,
Or they could come in, apply for it, vote, and then not have to
Right.
mail it.
because this year, as far as like my budget right now, it's dwindling down and you figure this year we're using the tabulator.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's going to cost a little more money than just, because they have to create my ballots. I have to order like 350 ballots.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have to do the memory card. And then I have to pay my employee, poll workers,
Mm-hmm.
and I have to pay the police who work that day.
But it's in the budget.
That's in the budget, but
Mhm.
not all this extra mail-ins.
So the extra mailings, we think like a few $100s.
Well, just for the 1,007 times 78 cents would cost me $785 just to mail them all out for stamps.
Yeah. How many do you think you normally get in for a mail-in?
I don't know. I can't remember how
Mhm.
many did it for the local election.
On the local election, how many people usually vote? You know,
Do you remember how many we had last year?
Max, oh, last year we didn't have any contests, so we had.
And plus, we also,
we
so
didn't have
what
any
do you
more
get,
than
up like 140
100.
or?
You had no more than 135 voters for
the local, because there's no one ever,
Yeah,
it's usually the same person who runs for every.
Yeah.
I think it's a waste of money to go mail-in ballots, that's the way I feel.
Right, and if, now that I know it's gonna, you know, how much I could always, well, for next year,
Budget for
say
next
budget
year.
for it, but this year I would like to just opt out of it. And if there's somebody wants to do a absentee ballot, that's fine.
Okay.
And
So-
if you want, I'll do the 10, 10 to 4.
Yeah, I
10
think we have to,
to
I think that we should keep the more hours.
The
if
more
we're not
hours.
going To opt out of the other one.
2.
And then do people, is it like easily accessible to figure out how to do an absentee ballot? Do we need to like get more information out there for people in case they want to do that?
Oh, no, a lot of people already in town already know how to do it and they've
Okay.
done it before. The
Okay,
people who, you know, usually are going on vacation or they're not gonna be around.
okay. Maybe even just getting in the paper that if there's not gonna be paper ballots, that people need to come in and get an absentee ballot if they're gonna be out. Okay, do you want to make a motion about paper ballots then, TJ?
Yeah, I'll move that we, forego the, mail-in
Okay.
ballots this year.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right,
How about the first question though? About
no,
Well,
we're-
no,
we didn't, yeah, we're
the-
keeping
Are we
10 to
doing a
4.
motion for that or?
No, we'll just keep it as it was. All right, look at that, you got a thick packet there, huh? All right, let me
I
get.
thought you were,
No, we were gonna vote to shorten it to 10 to 2,
I
but we
know.
didn't vote.
I know, but I have to say something, so do I just say no?
Just,
Do I
you
do
can
it?
say, that we're going to, the board decided to keep the 10 to 4,
Okay,
time
so-
for the election.
So can I do a motion?
I don't think we need one.
Okay.
They decided not to vote on it because, we would only vote if we wanted to change it.
Oh, I see. I get your point.
All right, excuse me, expenditure report. All right, let me look at my cheat sheet. It's.
Was that it,
almost-
Doris? That was it?
Yes, that was it.
Thank you, Doris. Excuse me. Oh, okay. We should be at about 78%. Oh, mine's sideways again. This is fun. All right, 78%. Big pain in the butt. Maybe we can do it that way. Assessors. Yes. Joanne, we forgot to make a motion to approve the, once a month department meetings. So I would make a motion to approve, supplementing one select board meeting a month with a department head meeting. Is there a second?
Second,
Any discussion? On favor?
aye.
Okay.
And
Thank
there's another thing. Maple Lane, the culvert that abuts Russell Stage Road. It's collapsed and the water's just seeping through. And that's gotta be addressed. And, seeing that Maple Lane's a private road, we need to, send a letter to the people that live on that road, that work has to be done to that.
I think that
Because
Ray
it's a-
was
it's a-
working with them too,
Well,
so,
I was talking with Rainey and Ray
Yeah.
about it. And, I mean, there's so many culverts going into that one trough. And the culvert the main culvert is an old steel culvert that has collapsed already and the water just seeps through. So that has to be addressed and we have to notify the residents that it has to be addressed. And then, once they're notified, what action they want to take, because it's a private road.
so that sounds like a highway department thing?
Yeah,
Okay,
well, when I talked with Ray and Rainey, they suggested that we notify the residents that was on that road.
so
And that way there, if they don't take action, we can take action and not have the responsibility for all the other mess that's there.
so who do you mean by we? Is the highway department doing?
The town, because it's a private road. We,
So-
the town,
So I mean, does the highway department do that? Do they reach out and contact the residents?
no, we have to, as a board.
We might need some legal wording for that.
You know, it just give them a heads up that this is, you know, and then if they don't do anything, at least the town can at least take care of what we need to take care of.
Is there a time frame that they have the residents post
No.
being, no?
No, it's something that has to be done sometime this year, but
No, I just meant, so you're saying if if the residents don't take action, then
By
they
when?
can't.
Yeah,
So are we giving them like 3 months to take action? Are we giving them,
well, Randy said ASAP, so as soon as possible, so. I would kind of just say, you know, it would be appreciated if they take some kind of action, you know. At their earliest convenience.
the tree warden is over budget. Tree warden expenses.
Same thing happened last year.
It hasn't been Arbor Day yet either, so is die of trees yet, or is this?
He just gave me a bill for something. It was a big one, $800.
Oh, that doesn't even look like it's. I wonder if
Yeah,
it's
for
gonna
his
take-
trees, I think.
Okay, I hope that that's already taken out of this, because then it's gonna be
It
1,000.
was a couple weeks ago, so
Okay.
it should be.
So, would you mind reaching out to him and letting him know he's over budget? He's shut off. Why is this? I thought we weren't, it would get kicked back to us if we were over budget.
if there's enough money in the
In the
overall?
overall, understood. Okay. Oh, there's another one. Hold on.
Police department's right up there.
Oh, that's vocational, so we went over on vocational, but there's nothing we can do about that. It'll have to, it's over by. So it's over, it's 124%. So the actual expended. Why does it say there's unexpended balance? Oh, that's what's, we overspent. The unexpended balance.
Unexpended would mean you haven't spent it.
Well, that's what I would thought too, but it says that there's 124%.
I think something needs to be reclassified.
Original budget was 90 and we spent 111.
What department is it?
That's the
Vocational school.
vocational.
Is it Smith or is it, Westfield?
It's vocation, Westfield,
That's generally spot on, isn't it?
yeah. So that looks like an extra kid somehow.
Maybe, I'll look.
Okay. Somehow snuck in there. All right, let's see what else we have. The difficult part of this is I can't see the line item at the same time as I'm seeing the Maybe hold on. Hold on.
Would it be easier if you take this?
Give me that
Go
damn
for
thing.
it.
Trees, speaking of the trees. All right, I was trying to look at, all right, we're just packed vote. I was looking over here at what was 103.
Oh, yeah.
So that's highway. Yeah, that's a special town meeting thing, so that's fine. Highway tree canopies at 91 though, and their vehicle fuels at 99. So those are up there. Those, that's winter, so that doesn't, what's this one? Yeah, it's winter. Cemetery expenses, you're a little high.
Oh, yeah, I'm right up there.
Board of Health transfer station is at 94%.
Something needs to be transferred, reclassed from that.
Okay.
We're aware.
Okay, that's the one we talked about last time. Okay, county retirement's at 96. But I think that that's all scheduled out throughout the
Mhm.
year, right? So that one's fine. Insurance and bonds, and one. One. Oh, because that's broadband. Here we go. Water laborer is over. But they still have some left. Here, so they must be, I don't know how. I'm not gonna. So other than that, water looks fine. All right. Good. My thank you, TJ.
Yep.
We have nothing under old business and we have no executive session. So, meeting is going to be
Excuse me?
adjourned at
Excuse me?
6:50.
Excuse
Meeting
me?
adjourned. It's adjourned. I can talk to
Excuse me?
George after, but the meeting's adjourned.
Okay.
Yes, meeting's adjourned. Yes, George.
Can I get a definition of old business?
A definition of old business. You actually, can, if you want to get on the agenda and ask about it.
Didn't hear what you said.
If you want to get on the agenda, you can. I don't have an answer for you this moment. That's the other part of it, is that you're not gonna be deliberating and giving answers right away. Okay.
But
So,
what,
Someone got to,
so what you're doing is annihilating the community, huh?
nope, we are following open meeting law, George.
Okay.